For the past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, Nigeria has been having challenges that are beckoning and waiting for answers and solutions. That is why we are bringing to you our program, State of the Nation. And this is going to come up on our flagship program this morning on ITV. I am hereby inviting you to join me, Bola Bakare, your host, on State of the Nation, so that we can hasten the motions that brings national development. It's going to be a regular basis on Tuesdays. Make it a date with me. I'll be there waiting for you, and then we shall discuss Nigeria on an holistic level. Good morning and welcome to your program this morning on ITV. And as usual, you can be rest assured we bring you the best of information dissemination. On our brief chat this morning, we are going to discuss a matter that affects you and I. A matter that is beginning to get a little bit out of hand. And honestly, we should not delude ourselves. What am I talking about here? I'm talking about the population of Nigeria. We are inching close to a population explosion. As we speak, we are over 200 million Nigerians. Let me take us back a little bit. As at independence in 1960, which is just 62 years back, we were just between 50 and 60 million Nigerians. And then 60 years down the line, we are nearly doing 400% increase. I'll repeat myself. From 60 million 60 years ago, we are now 200 million 60 years down the line. If we extrapolate that, by the year 2070, we will be about 450 million Nigerians. We will have been more than Americans. We will have been the largest country in Africa. Even with the 200 million that we have presently, we are more than the addition of 8 West African countries: Republic of Benin, Togo, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, Gambia. Add them all together, they are not as much as 200 million that we are. What I'm saying here is there is room for caution. We should be able to sit back and look at our numbers and look at that word. There is a population explosion on our hands. Little wonder, the Nigerian Population Commission shortly and soonest will come up with sensitization, orientation, education about the need, urgent need to curtail our population explosion. This is nothing that has to do with the government. The government does not give you a wife. The government does not, as we speak, presently, the government does not tell you you should have 2 kids or you should have 6 kids. It is us that are the determinant as we speak. Little wonder, I am saying this morning, it's high time we start thinking as Nigerians. Because if we don't, the infrastructure we have on hand will not be able to handle our population. Even as is, our population is finding it difficult with the infrastructure that we have on hand. Then what do we do? What do we expect from the Nigerian Population Commission? Honestly, they are going to, MPC, let me use that short word. MPC means Nigerian Population Commission. They are going to sensitize, orientate, and educate us about the need for us to start from the home. We need to start from the home. There are some good Nigerians that are thinking, well, I don't need more than 2-3 kids. Because by the time the 2 or the 3 of them are in the universities, that is going to cost me about $1 million a year, I wouldn't have the money to send them to school. So some people are already doing the thinking for themselves. Some are even thinking along the lines that, oh, how do I do it? If I have 6 kids, how do I manage them in the basic education? That is in terms of primary and secondary education. Can I manage them? Some good thinking Nigerians are saying, no, I won't do 6. I'd rather have 4. But honestly, there are some Nigerians that do not know anything about anything. If we think in terms of us Nigerians, which is what I am telling us this morning, let us think about ourselves first. There are some people that do not care about the girl child. And a girl of 13, 14, who is still a baby, will start having babies. And at the end of the day, by the time she's 20, 21, she has given birth to 5, 6 kids. And the man is questioned, has dumped her, picked up another girl, and then is doing another thing again. I don't like to run an inference, but there was a time a member of the National Assembly came to the National Assembly one day and stood up, telling Nigerians that is my wife, that is my wife, that is my wife, and I have 26 kids at home. For God's sake, you're a Nigerian. How do you think, whichever money you have, how do you think is going to manage 26 kids? Do you think the 26 kids will make university? Those are factors that concerns you and I as Nigerians. We need a good case of health care, proper health care, where the female is being educated about her body. This your body can have 10 kids, but for your own health, let's stop it at 4, 5. And there are instances where she doesn't have the control. The man is the head of the house, and then there is that duty of marital bliss. It is the healthcare system that is going to educate a woman like that in terms of contraception. That comes into it too. That has a factor to play. We are not stopping there alone. We need to now look at the aftermath of the mistakes we've made so far. I can remember I was at a forum some time ago, maybe 10, 12 years back. And I said something which is a repetition of what the late sage, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, said during his own time. He said, if I do not educate the kids of my driver, they will make my own kids uncomfortable when they all grow up. What I said 12 years back was, these days you have those kids that are numerous beyond sensible numbers. Oh, they wake up in the morning, like in my own, I'm a Yoruba man. They will say, Baba, oh, they are hailing you because you're a big man. From the east, they'll probably say, Chairman, sir. From the north, they'll probably say, Ranke Shidede. I said it 12 years ago, that those kids that are saying Ranke Shidede, Chairman, sir, and then Babao, will one day make life uncomfortable for us. Is that not happening now? We can't travel. We can't sleep with both eyes closed. A lot of things are happening that are self-inflicted. When I say self-inflicted, we caused it. We asked for it, and we are getting it in spades. So when we talk in terms of population explosion that is staring us in the face, it starts from the home. It starts from you as the father, who has 1 wife, 2 wives, 3 wives, 4 wives, 5, at times 6, for which you do not have the wherewithal to take care of them. I can say one thing to you for free. There is no religion that tells you to marry 10 wives if you cannot afford it. If you cannot afford the responsibility that comes with it, you are not doing the right thing. I will go back to what I said earlier about our country, Nigeria. We are on the threshold of dire straits. Our population is increasing beyond our infrastructure. I'll repeat myself for those who are just joining in. Between 1960 at independence to 2022, which is 62 years, we have multiplied our population by 3.5. That's 350%, from 60 million to 210 million. If we extrapolate that for another 60 years, by let's say 50 years, by 2070, we will be close to 500 million Nigerians. My brother, I will tell you one simple truth. It is going to be difficult for us to manage ourselves. It's high time we'll listen to the Nigerian Population Commission that is going to come up with tidbits, guidelines, a lot of things we can do. Educate us, orientate us, sensitize us, so that we can start learning how to do the right thing. I am sure some of you that are watching this program this morning, you're sitting back and counting the number of kids you have. or you're thinking in terms of the number of kids you might want to have, please, please, and please, it is your responsibility as a father to take care of your family and your kids. Don't have more kids than you can afford. Don't throw kids onto the streets. Don't bequeath on them a bowl and say, here is a bowl, go and forage like chicken on the streets. If those kids grow up, they will become mean human beings. That is what we are suffering presently in Nigeria. It's good to talk about insecurity. The government is not doing anything. The government is not doing this. The government is not doing that. How much of the problem did you add to it? You have 10 kids, you don't even know where they are. And these days of phones, most of them can go on social media and they see how the other people live. And they'll be wondering, am I not a Nigerian? Don't I have a right to live like that? At the end of the day, that kid becomes a morbid human being who doesn't care about killing another Nigerian, based on the simple fact, because at the back of his mind, he is telling himself that Nigeria never took care of me, and as such, I am free to go ahead and do whatever I like. The bottom line here is, it is us, the fathers, the mothers, the guardians, the heads of the family, the father. I am begging you, I am appealing to you, not just on behalf of myself and yourself. I'm appealing to you on behalf of the totality of Nigerians. If our numbers become uncomfortable, I will tell you this for free. We haven't seen insecurity yet. If our numbers go beyond, extremely beyond the infrastructure on ground, the insecurity will continue. So brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, fellow Nigerians, it's high time we think in terms of our population. It's high time we think in terms of having kids that we can be responsible to. Nigerian Population Commission is going to get at us shortly because we need to be educated.